This is Dr. Trashbag, and I'm going over what my initial thoughts are for the 3.4 Cepheus update. Is it well worth buying? And basically, to summarize it, I think it is worth the buy. There is a lot of new features here. For example, I think one of my favorites is this new ring around the planet. And basically, you can build that around any planet that you are inhabiting. I did try to build it around planets that I'm not currently inhabiting, and it looks like that's not an option. But if you have a planet that you are inhabiting and building up, it should give you a nice little green cursor arrows pointing there, and you can click there, and your construction ship will come over and build that orbital ring for you. They're relatively cost effective, I believe. I mean, this is still pretty expensive for early game when you're spending a lot of your alloys and influence to kind of expand and your alloys to get some fleet to defend. But I'm liking the orbital ring. I think that's one of my favorite things thus far. You can upgrade it a total of three times. And I'm debating on either doing orbital anchorage or habitation module. So the orbital anchorage get an extra +4 naval capacity. And so that should give you a total of 16 extra naval capacity before any other like empire wide percentage buffs or anything like that. I haven't gotten to the buildings yet, so I don't know if there's also that anchorage that gives you another +4. So that would give you 32 if that's there. So you either get an extra 2 battleships or 4 battleships per orbital ring once they're all the way maxed out. So that's definitely handy. I'm going to go ahead and put those in before I forget. And yeah, also another good feature that I'm really liking is the progenitor hive. And at first, I thought having those offspring ships was a big negative. And just to kind of circle around, basically, if you don't have a special offspring ship in your fleet, they get a big negative of -50% of sublight speed, evasion, fire rate, and accuracy. So your fleet's going to be essentially half of what it should be in terms of fleet power. But if you have an offspring ship, you get an extra 55% extra sublight speed, evasion, fire rate, and accuracy. Now I'm also playing as a devouring swarm, so I get other pretty good buffs. So I have a civic and a origin that are kind of like S or A tier, depending on what your opinion is there. I think devouring swarm is either S or A tier, and I think progenitor hive is A tier. But then I realized that you actually get a lot of these offspring ships. I thought it was going to be more like the Titans, where like you're only going to have like four of them mid game and then like 10 or 12 late game. No, look at this. You get 32 offspring corvettes, 15 destroyers, 7 cruisers, and 3 battleships. So yeah, you can kind of double up with your fleet. Maybe have at least 2. That way, if one gets destroyed, you're A-OK. Maybe having one as a corvette and another one as a destroyer or cruiser kind of hanging out in the back at the 80 to 150 range. I think that would be a good strategy. I was being a little frugal with my offspring ships because I thought I had very few of them, but then I was like, wait, I haven't even checked. And I look over here, I'm like, holy crud. I have like, what is it? Easily over 50. So yeah, we're talking about 57 offspring ships currently, and my fleet capacity is 312 right now, so it's most likely going to go up. But yeah, you probably don't want to have too many offspring corvettes because they do cost a little extra due to the extra module that they have in there. Where is a example? Okay, yeah. So you have nope. You have this. So this is going to cost a little extra. Yep, effect on allied ships plus 55% speed, evasion, fire rate, and accuracy. So when you include that with all the benefits of the devouring swarm, my fleet is just super powerful. So, I mean, just starting out, I had two enemies over here that I took over, and they always had like maybe half the fleet power that I had. And taking them over was actually pretty easy. So, what else have I not gone over? I haven't tried the space lanes yet, but I'm starting to see them on the map. For example, Geico here, which is a mega, what is it called? It's like a mega corporation, and it's all about trade and whatnot. Anyways, I see them doing that special highway system where basically when a ship comes in, it doesn't have to go all the way over here. It can just faster than light travel from there to here. It doesn't have to do the sublight travel, which really saves a lot of time. I really appreciate that. I think my next playthrough will be the other origin, which is where you start as psychic. So you basically start with a ascension perk, but it doesn't take up one of these ascension perk slots. And that is, where is it? It's one of the psychic ones. No. I believe it's mind over matter. And so that way some of your leaders will have the psychic ability, which gives extra stats, which is nice. And then right when you get to the third ascension perk, you can get transcendence and go full psychic so that all of your leaders can get it. So I'm definitely going to try that one next so that I can play with more ascension perks and have pretty strong leaders starting out. I haven't found anything that I didn't like yet, except for one thing. For whatever reason, there's a bug where I can't kill these space whales. And so in hindsight, I shouldn't have attacked them. I was in the middle of a war, and these guys came into a system, and I was like, well, I could use some more XP, and I started shooting them. Well, they are regenning in terms of health, armor, and hull faster than I can shoot. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is 1.3k, and I was attacking them, I think, with a 5 and a 4k fleet at the time, and I couldn't kill them. So I had to wage a war against two empires while making sure my fleet was not in a system with these space whales, which was an extra challenge. So if you wanted to see my frustration, I do have a playthrough on that. Just look at my channel and look for the one that says Progenitor Hive and playing as the Flood in Stellaris. Ugh, I can't talk. But yeah, that's my quick summary of it. So far, I think it's worth I think it's like 15, $20. It does add a lot of new content to the game. I really like the origins. I like the new buildings. Even though these orbital rings are in the star-based category, they don't take up star-based capacity. Because if they did, this would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But it's saying that I have 8, so it's not taking up that, which is good. But yeah, what do y'all think about the Cepheus update so far, the 3.4? Let me know down below. And I have the mods and a link to my playthrough in the description if you're curious. All right, well, thank y'all, and y'all have a great day. Please like and subscribe if you're still listening, and I'll see y'all in the next episode.